Okay, Agun Erev Shabbos, friends. Parshas Toldos. We're going to begin our opening Shiur, Pesacheinu Megadim, connecting the beginning of the Parsha to the end. Let me pull up the Machon today's email. Look at this. I want to wish everyone a happy Black Friday. Say Black Friday. That's not a Jewish holiday. Well, now it is, okay? Because look what you could get. You could get 15% off on any of these books. Look how nice they are. Look how nice they'll look on your shelf. They could decorate your shelf very nicely. And then maybe if you have them, maybe you'll open them up. You might use them. Okay, so all the Sfarim until Tuesday are 15% off and free shipping. Pesacheinu Megadim. We're connecting the beginning of the Parsha to the end of the Parsha. We have some very interesting and compelling connections this week. First of all, the Parsha begins, Vahi Yitzchak ben 40 shana b'kachtois Rivka bas Besuel ha'arami mi Padan Aram. That Yitzchak was 40 years old, and he took Rivka bas Besuel ha'arami mi Padan Aram. So Yitzchak took a wife from Padan Aram, from the house of Besuel and Lavan. And lo and behold, at the end of the Parsha, Vayishlach Yitzchak es Yaakov, Vayilech Padan Aram, El Lavan ben Besuel ha'arami. So the beginning of the Parsha speaks about Yitzchak marrying the daughter of Besuel, the sister of Lavan. And the end of the Parsha talks about Yitzchak sending Yaakov to Padan Aram, to the house of Lavan, the son of Besuel. So that's one commonality between the opening and closing of the Parsha. Here's another interesting one that occurred to me, the Siyata D'Shmaya. The end of the Parsha, it says that Yitzchak sent Yaakov, and they went to Padan Aram, to Lavan ben Besuel ha'arami, the brother of Rivka, the mother of Yaakov and Esav. And Rashi is famously troubled. Really? Rivka is the mother of Yaakov and Esav? I didn't know that. Everybody knows that Rivka is the mother of Yaakov and Esav. Why does the pasuk say that Yitzchak sent Yaakov to Padan Aram, to the house of Lavan, the son of Besuel, the brother of Rivka, the father of Yaakov and Esav? Rashi says, Aim Yaakov Esav, Eni yodea ma melamdenu. I don't know what this teaches us. Rashi says, I don't know what these words, Aim Yaakov Esav, teach us. So the Maskil of David says, the question is obvious, and all the Mefarshim deal with it, that if you don't know what it teaches us, Rashi, then don't say anything. Nobody asks you to tell us that you don't know what this means. What, every single time Rashi doesn't know what something means, he says, I don't know what it means? So if you don't know what it means, don't say anything. So the Maskil of David says that Rashi doesn't mean, I don't know what it means. Rashi's telling us that Yitzchak was telling Yaakov he doesn't know what it means. What does that mean? Yitzchak is sending Yaakov to the house of Lavan. And what Yitzchak is telling Yaakov is, you got to be careful with this guy. I don't know what he's all about. Why doesn't he know what he's all about? Because Chazal say that most children are similar to the mother's brother. You know that? A person's children are similar to their mother's brother. So now, what is Lavan all about? Yitzchak says, I can't figure this guy out because I have one Yaakov and I have one Esav. So usually we say, Roiv children are like the mother's brother. Well, if most children are like the mother's brother, we don't have most children here because there are only two children. So Esav would indicate Lavan's a bad guy. Yaakov would indicate Lavan's a good guy. So Yitzchak's telling Yaakov, I'm sending you to Lavan. I don't know what this guy is all about. I can't tell. From you, Yaakov, it would seem like your uncle's a good guy. From Esav, your brother, it would seem like Lavan's a bad guy. So you got to watch out for him because I don't know what he's all about. That's how the Parsha ends. So I would humbly suggest that's also how the Parsha begins. Why does the Parsha begin that Yitzchak married the daughter of Besuel? Okay, that I understand. We wanted to say that Yitzchak's married to Rivka. That Rivka is the sister of Lavan. Why does the Parsha begin that Rivka is the sister of Lavan? Everybody knows Rivka is the sister of Lavan. Why does it need to introduce the Parsha that Rivka is the sister of Lavan? You know why? Because the Torah is about to say there are two kids. There's a Yaakov and there's an Esav. And you might wonder, how could it be from two parents, from the same parents, twins, could be so diametrically opposite, could be so different? How do two parents produce a Yaakov and an Esav? The answer is Lavan. Kids are similar to their uncle. And this Lavan guy, we don't know what he's like. He's a half. He has two different parts to him. He had a Yaakov part to him. He had an Esav part to him. So therefore his nephews, one is a Yaakov and one is an Esav. In other words, basically the Parsha is beginning and ending the same way, I would say. It ends according to the Maskil of David that Yitzchak tells Yaakov, watch out for Lavan. I don't know what he's all about. But by the same token, the Parsha begins by repeating something we all know, that Rivka's brother was Lavan, to give us an insight. And if that's the case of that Rivka's brother is Lavan, we finally understand how she had a Yaakov and an Esav. How did she have a Yaakov and an Esav? Because her brother had two diametrically opposite parts to him. Fine. Next. This is unbelievable. You ready? How does the Parsha begin? The late Sanei Hadar said, Sarah conceived from Avimelech. What did God do? God made Yitzchak the spitting image of Avram, in order that everyone should know Avraham holiest Yitzchak, right? That's the opening Parsha. Why does it say Ela Toldos Yitzchak ben Avraham and then Avraham holiest Yitzchak? Because Hashem made a miracle that everyone testified Avraham holiest Yitzchak. The lashon of Rashi is Ma Asa Hakadosh Baruch Hu Tsar Klaster Panav. Let's go to the end of the Parsha. According to the Gemara in his commentary to Safra de Tzniusa, Esav hated Yaakov. So Esav said, when could I kill Yaakov? And the Gemara explains, he then took a tangible step to destroy Yaakov by marrying the daughter of Yishmael. As we've mentioned many times, if Esav and Yishmael ever got together, they would destroy the world. So the question is, but Esav and Yishmael did get together. So says the Gemara, yeah, very good. That's why in the last pasuk, in the last pasuk of the Parsha, Hashem killed Yishmael. Esav went, he married the daughter of Yishmael, the sister of Nevayos. Ask Rashi, if Yaakov married the daughter of Yishmael, obviously this woman is the sister of Nevayos. The answer is, no, Yishmael died. Yishmael died. The lashon of the Gemara is, Ma osa hakadosh baruch hu sires es hazachar v'harages hanekeva. The same way what God did to the male and the female of Yasan, he neutered the male and he killed the female. Here too, God killed Yishmael. Because Esav went to be meshadech with Yishmael, God killed Yishmael. So both in the beginning of the Parsha and in the end of the Parsha, we have this expression, Ma asa hakadosh baruch hu. What did God do? In the beginning of the Parsha, God made a miracle. He made Yitzchak look like Avram. And at the end of the Parsha, what did God do? God killed Yishmael. By the way, what's interesting to me is, in the beginning of the Parsha, Rashi brings the late Sanei Hadar, would say, Me Avimelech Nesabra Sarah. Who were those late Sanei Hadar? You know, the Meshech Chochmah says that when Sarah saw Yishmael was mitzachek, you know what that mitzachek was? He told Yitzchak, nice try. You think you're the heir of Abraham? Me Avimelech Nesabra Sarah. You're not even her kid. You're not even Abraham's kid. Sarah conceived from Avimelech. So Yishmael was part of the late Sanei Hadar. So the Parsha begins with the late Sanei Hadar, and it ends that Esav is trying to team up with the late Sanei Hadar, Yishmael. So, my friend Reb Tzvi Schlesinger shared another very compelling connection between the end of the parsha and the beginning. It's not on the sheet because it's after it went to print. Listen to this. It's really good. Do you remember earlier in the week we spoke about the asnachta in the beginning of the parsha? Vayihi Yitzchak ben arba'im shana. Yeah? Mapach pashta zakev katan. Munach revi b'kachtayes rivka. Bas v'suel ho arami mi padan aram esnachta. Achais lavan ho arami loyli isha. Meir, get me a Chumash. Here, pass me that Chumash on top. Did you realize that there's a misplaced asnachta in the beginning of the parsha? It's talking about Yitzchak's marriage. Vayhi Yitzchak ben arba'im shana. So the asnachta should be there. It should be Vayhi Yitzchak ben arba'im shana. Stop. And then put together B'kachtoi es Rivka bas besuel ho'arami mi padan aram achois lavan arami lo'li isha. When he took Rivka, the daughter of Besuel Arami from Padan Aram, the sister of Lavan. Why does it put an asnachta in middle of Yitzchak marrying Rivka? B'kachtoi es Rivka bas besuel ho'arami mi padan aram esnachta. Why does it split Yitzchak's marriage? So we said earlier in the week from Rav Avigdor Nebenzal, it's because we know that Besuel died in the middle of the marriage. By the Kedushin, Besuel gave over Rivka for the Kedushin, but then Besuel tried to poison Eliezer and the Malach poisoned Besuel. So Besuel died, and then Lavan completed the act. Lavan gave her over for Tenusuin. So therefore there's a asnachta, right? So in middle of the marriage, Besuel died. In the end of the parsha, Vayelech Esav el Yishmael. Esav went to Yishmael. And then he took Machalas, the daughter of Yishmael, the sister of Nevios. Rashi says, of course, it's the sister of Nevios. It's to tell us that Yishmael died. V'hisia Nevios achiha. Now, it's interesting. Says Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky, just like in the end of the parsha, Yishmael died before the Nesuin. In the beginning of the parsha, Besuel died before the Nesuin. So actually, says Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky, earlier on in the parsha, when Rashi says that she's the sister of Lavan, why do we need to say she's the sister of Lavan? Everyone knows she's the sister of Lavan. Rashi should have answered, it says she's the sister of Lavan because Besuel died and Lavan married her off. So why is Rashi bothered? We know that she's the sister of Lavan. So says Rabbi Kamenetsky, no, that's not what Rashi is bothered by. Rashi is bothered by, we know they come from Padan Aram, and we know they're Arami. Regarding why it says Achois Lavan, that's like Rashi says at the end of the Parsha, that just like in the beginning of the Parsha, just like in the end of the Parsha, Besuel died, in the end of the Parsha, Yishmael died, in the beginning of the Parsha, Besuel died. Rashi is not troubled why it says Achois Lavan. It's to tell me Lavan did the Nesuin. What Rashi is bothered by is, why do we need to know that they're from Padan Aram and Arami? Be it as it may, that's another amazing parallel between the beginning and end of the parsha. In both cases, the father who married them off died. Okay, you ready? One more? This maybe is my favorite. So, Vayisroitzitzu habanim b'kirba. They were kicking to get out. What does Rashi say? Where was Yaakov running to? Says Rashi, Kishahoisa Iveres al Pischei Torah Shel Shem ve'Ever Yaakov Ratz u'Mefarkes Latzes. When they were passing by the doorways of Torah of Shem ve'Ever, Yaakov was running and trying to get out. Yeah? So the beginning of the parsha alludes to the yeshiva Shem ve'Ever. Yaakov was running to go to yeshiva Shem ve'Ever. The last pasuk in the parsha, Vayelech Esav el Yishmael. Esav went to Yishmael. And he took Machalas, the daughter of Yishmael. Rashi says, if Esav married the daughter of Yishmael, then obviously she's a sister of Nevayos. Why do I need to say she's a sister of Nevayos? It's to tell me that Yishmael died then. Why do I need to know Yishmael died? To be able to know that Yaakov Avinu learned 14 years in the Yeshiva Shem Ve'ever. So the beginning of the Parsha alludes that when Yaakov was in utero, he wanted to learn in the Yeshiva Shem Ve'ever. And in the last pasuk, that's the source that he learned in the Yeshiva Shem Ve'ever for 14 years. That's a good connection, Meir. Meir agrees that it's a good connection. That the opening psukim allude to the fact that Yaakov wanted to learn in the Yeshiva Shem Ve'ever in utero. And the last pasuk in the Chumash alludes to the fact that Yaakov indeed learned in the Yeshiva Shem Ve'ever for 14 years. So these are Pesacheinu Megadim, connecting the beginning and ending of the Parsha, showing the treats that lay in store for us at the doorways of Parshas Toldos. Okay, that's the first offering for today. Thank you very much.